much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
Knuckles.
You're a colorful bunch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic,
sounds great as
I
Shadow.
would like to fight.
Knuckles, no!
Chaos control, yep.
My turn.
No,
Can we just talk about this?
it's a bit late for that.
Let's do this! If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it!
I need room. But, sir, I don't have the proper materials.
Found some. What did you do?
What I had to.
Oh no. Well. We're on the third movie of the Sonic franchise. This movie is about to be something spectacular, especially since Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be in this. Now, I have been following this movie, not too closely, but closely enough to know some things. Like if y'all follow like certain movie scoopers, I guess he's kind of considered a movie scooper, but people like 3C Films, I've been following that, so I kind of know certain things. I know there was like a rumor, I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but I know there was a rumor about Keanu Reeves being Shadow the Hedgehog, which I would actually like, because like if you was to ask me who else would be Sonic Shadow the Hedgehog, I would not be able to give you an answer on that. So as far as you know, if you don't know Shadow, Robotnik's grandfather created Shadow, and Shadow pretty much had a close connection with, I think she was the daughter of Robotnik's grandfather, I think, and she ends up dying, and Shadow's kind of like, you know, kind of becomes dark and cold-hearted and doesn't really care much for humanity at that point. So I feel like that's kind of where they're going to go with this, but he's not going to be the main villain in this. If we're going based off of that, he's not going to be the main villain. Yes, he will be a problem and an issue, kind of like how they did with Knuckles, except Knuckles in the second movie was tricked into doing everything. Shadow pretty much went through everything that he did, like, what was it, like 50 years ago? And then they put him underground for whatever reason, and then somebody unleashed Sonic. Not unleashed Sonic, but somebody unleashed Shadow. For whatever reason, I don't know. But somebody brought Shadow out of their capsule. And so now the crew got to deal with Shadow. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this and see what's going on. So subscribe if you're new, comment what you want to see next. Without further ado, let's get into this video. All right.
Sonic, you finally found your family.
Try to keep up.
I know it hasn't always been easy, but you didn't change who you are in here.
Yeah, in my lungs.
Or your heart.
Yeah. Sega. Shadow.
There's been a high-level security breach. And we need Team Sonic's immediate assistance. Project Shadow is far beyond anything we've ever encountered.
That was a great shot.
Like your Sonic.
Yep.
But where you found family and friends, Shadow found only pain and loss.
All right.
Okay.
We got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with the giant fireball?
That would make sense.
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
This is about to go poorly for y'all.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
Knuckles.
You're a colorful bunch.
We
It
don't
is
want to
Keanu.
fight you.
Actually, Sonic,
sounds great as
I
Shadow.
would like to fight.
Knuckles, no!
Chaos control, yep.
My turn.
No,
Can we just talk about this?
it's a bit late for that.
He's too powerful.
I love how he runs.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but we need you know who.
This is a bad idea.
When has that ever stopped me?
He's in the fat suit.
We have visitors.
This is sad, Robotnik.
even for you.
We need your help.
On one condition.
What? Do this! If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it! I need room.
But, sir, I don't have the proper materials.
Found some. When we're done, there won't be anything left.
Oh, he got the motorcycle.
What did you do? What I had to.
Oh no.
Welcome home, my boy.
Oh, why?
Possible.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
I am.
Are you? In the saggy flesh.
December, okay.
In the saggy flesh.
So, wow. Okay, I feel like what they're gonna do, it's not just gonna be the telling of Shadow as a character. It's also gonna I said that twice. It's gonna also tell something dealing with Sonic as well, and also with Robotnik and his grandfather. So there's gonna be like 3 different stories being told in this. They're gonna show why Shadow is the way that he is. I'm pretty sure they're gonna touch as to a little bit as to what Robotnik was doing that entire time in hiding, besides just eating, and also how is his grandfather alive, because I don't remember his grandfather ever existing outside of what he did with Shadow and what happened back then. And then also tell the story of Sonic's I feel like Sonic's gonna lose Donut Lord, or he's gonna come close to that, because I feel like they're gonna try to mirror it, because how they started off this trailer, where he was just like, you found friends and loved ones and things of that nature, and you've been through hardship, but it never changed your heart, and you never changed who you were. And then they were just like, oh yeah, Shadow went through the same thing as you, except he didn't have all that. So I feel like what's gonna happen is Sonic is gonna start to lose certain things. And I feel like one of those things is gonna be Donut Lord, because they have like a whole scene where it seemed as though Donut Lord dies. Like he's over here yelling Sonic and everything. So I feel like he might die, or he may, like, it seems like he dies, but he doesn't. He somehow survives and doesn't show up until later on in the movie. And I feel like Sonic kind of goes through a dark path in a sense, because here they're looking like something drastic has happened. And then later on, like, Sonic is like pissed. Like, we've never really seen Sonic get like that, to where he's just like, he's making rash decisions, or he doesn't really care, and he's just like he's done with all this. And then that's when it brings in Robotnik. Now, I feel like what's going to happen is this. They're not going to be buddy-buddy by the end of this like how he was with Knuckles. I feel like what's going to happen is that the quill that Sonic had gave Robotnik is going to play a factor later on with Robotnik's grandfather. Because, and to me, this only makes sense this way, because from what I remember of Sonic lore, he does not exist where Sonic and Shadow are dealing with each other. He does not exist at that point. It's just Robotnik. So if they're kind of twisting it a little bit, what I feel like they can do is this. What they're going to do, Robotnik has the quill. He created Shadow. His grandfather created Shadow. They can create Metal Sonic. Now that could be a stretch, but I feel like the way that they're going about this, he can create Metal Sonic, use the quill to power that, and then Sonic and his crew and Shadow have to work together to battle Metal Sonic and Robotnik and his grandfather and all that. Because it's just like, where have you been this entire time? Like, there's no way he's been alive this entire time and has not been doing anything. So either he could have been frozen and he's only unleashed when Shadow's unleashed, or he's been existing around the world somewhere and he's just been able to keep himself from looking older. So they can go many different ways within that. But I also think that Like, bro, I love this shot. But he was just like, what did you do? He's like, what I had to. I feel like Shadow ended up killing somebody. And I feel like that's probably when happened with Donut Lord. He was just like, what did you do? He's like, what I had to. Also, why was Donut Lord there with all the other gun operatives? And then I love how they brought the motorcycle in here. So if they brought the motorcycle in here, I feel like he might have his guns at some point. But there was also one other thing that kind of got me that I was questioning a little bit. It had something to do with Robotnik and Sonic going through a portal.
We need your...
If I can't rule...
I don't have the proper
Yeah, here. Where is this? Because when I first saw this frame, I didn't really process everything around it. I assumed they were on a different world where they could get other characters from, such as like Amy and Silver. Well, Silver kind of gets introduced differently, but I felt like when I first saw this scene that they might be looking for another character that they can add. But yeah, I also do feel like Sonic is going on a warpath because he's literally alone with Robotnik. So I feel like he's gonna kind of shun Tails and Knuckles to the side because they're not gonna be willing to do what these two are willing to do. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna go through a whole thing of like, Sonic, this is not like you. Donut Lord would not want this, and all this other type of stuff. He's gonna kind of go through like a bit of a rough patch because of what happened with Shadow. And like the amount of anger I'm getting from this, he almost looks like the werewolf form, low-key in this. But I feel like that's where they're gonna go. So basically, to recap, because I did ramble on a little bit. Recap, I feel like one thing that they're gonna do is tackle Sonic losing Donut Lord, or thinking that he lost Donut Lord, and it's gonna put him bit of a through a rough path of basically becoming Shadow, but then, you know, he has to fight his way out of being that evil or becoming that and sticking to how he is. Knuckles and Tails are gonna have to really help with that. Even Pretzel Lady is gonna have to help with that. That's what I say, like, if he's dead, then everybody else is gonna try to have to help him. If he's not dead, he's probably gonna show up later on, and, you know, Sonic's gonna be like, oh, a relief or whatever like that. Another thing is that Robotnik having one of his quills, because the fact that he's willing to give it up, I really do feel like it's because something happened to Donut Lord. Because like, there's no reason why Sonic would give that up willingly, regardless of what's going on. There's no way for him to give that up. I don't care what's going on. If there is a reasoning, they really have to explain that. But I feel like what ends up happening, Shadow gets released. Nobody really knows what's going on. They ask Sonic and his team to go deal with him. They fight in whatever city that was. They get beat up. They still go after him. Shadow's doing his own little mission or whatever, I'm guessing, to get back at the people who, you know, locked him up. Sonic and the team are following him. They finally find him. I guess he was at the gun operation because he was jumping around beating everybody up. And for some reason, Donut Lord was there. He basically punched a hole in time and space and caused like a little vortex to go on or whatever. Kills Donut Lord. Sonic asks, what did you do? He said, what I had to. So Sonic is under the impression that Donut Lord is dead. Then he goes to find Robotnik. Robotnik's like, hey, give me a piece of your quill and I'll help you. They're working together. Tails, Knuckles probably get pushed to the wayside because of what Sonic is going through and what he's doing. Then I'm pretty sure this battle is just these two by themselves, and I'm pretty sure everybody else is kind of dealing with something else. Because it's not going. I don't think it's just going to be Shadow. I feel like other characters are going to play into this. Now, other characters, like you got Team Sonic and then you got Team Shadow. The other members of Team Shadow, you got Shadow, Rouge. Is it Rouge or Rogue? Well, I'm gonna just say Rouge the back, but like y'all correct me if it's Rouge or Rouge. I can't remember. And then you got the I can't remember the robot name, but it was built by, I think, Dr. Eggman's grandfather. I think he was built around that time. I can't remember. But that's Team Shadow's group. So I don't know if he ends up finding or coming across them and the other two are dealing with them or whatever the case may be. But then the last scene here where he meets his papa and everything, I feel like they work together behind the scenes, and then towards the end of the movie they're gonna deal with Metal Sonic. Come at the bottom of this video, hit me on my social media for being in the description below. Subscribe and comment what you want to see next. To the next video, you guys. See ya.